Afternoon, gang. All right, I know. Mid-afternoon video usually means nothing good. That'd be the truth. Okay. Was it yesterday that I mentioned, used to be talking about beans, bullets, and band-aids, and, now we're talking about economic collapse and nuclear war. Well, we discussed the economic collapse and everything that's going on at lunch. Now let's go into the nuclear war part. I swear. If you ever thought that you would be sitting here listening to a video talking about this, or I ever thought I'd be making one, you're sadly mistaken. You know, Sometimes it's nice to not listen to our domestic media. And fortunately for me, I've got somebody who can translate some of the stuff that's coming out of Russia, not from the state media, but from the opposition media. It's kind of how, figure this, you got state media here like CBS, NBC, MSNBC. You got the opposition media like OANN and Newsmax. Okay, that's where we're talking about from here. All right, that type of equivalent. Now, yesterday, by now, everybody's heard about the two drones that were destroyed flying over the Kremlin. And I didn't make a video on it on purpose because I wasn't going to be one of these that jumped on the bandwagon before all the information is out. And of course, that turned out to be the right idea. Because, as I said this morning, the videos came from the West, not from the East. From the East and not from the West. Now the reports are, when they're analyzing some of this stuff, that one of the drones didn't have the capacity of flying more than about 10 miles. The other one didn't have the capacity of flying more than about 50. So that would tell you right there that they definitely came from somewhere inside Russia, right? Of course, you have the Russians are now claiming that Washington was responsible for it. You also have the Russians claiming that Ukraine is responsible for it. There's the possibility that Russia has now banned the use of anybody, you and me, to fly a little drone if we want. You cannot fly a drone of any sort whatsoever in Moscow now. Okay, so that brings up what I thought this could possibly be, is a prankster, a TikToker or whatever it was, going out in Red Square and doing it. For all we know, somebody's going to come up and say it's Martians, all right? So we don't know. Kind of like Nord Stream, right? Somebody knows, just nobody's telling us, all right? We're not getting the information. But no matter who did it, how did it, or whatever, the effect was expected before whoever launched their drone, okay? That this was going to piss off Russia, and Russia was going to immediately blame Kyiv, and they were going to retaliate, right? Okay, I mean, doesn't matter if it was a false flag event and the Russians did it to themselves, that was going to give them the excuse. If Ukraine actually did it, that was going to give them an excuse. If some Russian citizen pissed off did it, that was going to give them an excuse. No matter who did it, it was going to give the Russian government the excuse that it was Kyiv, right? So retaliation is come up. This is where it gets interesting, all right? You have members of the state Duma, which for all intents and purposes would be like Congress, all right? Specifically one, the speaker, all right, Vyacheslav Volodin, who on yesterday, okay, called the strike an attempted terrorist attack, all right? And I'll quote this: "There can be no negotiations. We will be demanding the use of weapons that can stop and destroy the terrorist regime in Kyiv." All right, basically hinting toward going after using nuclear weapons. All right. Then you got Russia's former space chief, Dmitry Rogozin, okay, from Roscosmos, all right, who published an update today from the front lines where he's working as a military advisor, okay, saying an imminent deadly air fight is anticipated, all right? He's talking about Russians preparing for a counteroffensive with Ukraine, okay? But he said that Russia could also, however, avoid a significant number of casualties by using a tactical nuclear weapon against Kyiv preemptively. Just saying, all right? So Mrs. P got into doing some digging, all right? And gulagu.net is a Russian opposition website that's actually run out of Paris. And the guy that runs it's a former Moscow official. There's a lot of FSB agents who, when all this crap happened, I don't want to say defected, but left, and are good sources for him for information, right? Vladimir Osechkin, who's the founder of this website, okay, has claimed that Russian aviation is preparing to use nuclear weapons on the territory of Ukraine. And according to his sources, okay, that they have two, as he calls them, products for such strikes that are ready at strategic airfields, which that goes right into exactly what was coming out of Rogozin's mouth, you know, the former chief of Roscosmos, all right, that they've got nuclear weapons ready. He's an advisor down in southern Russia. Obviously, you're talking about the Ukraine region here. No need to have a Russian advisor, I don't know, on the border with Kazakhstan or something like that. Doesn't make a difference at this point. But yeah, while we're worried about a banking crisis, which is just becoming more ugly day by day, the media, if you go check out all the websites, all they're stuck on today is gender crap, okay? And we've got the government in Russia talking about potentially using tactical nuclear weapons. If you don't think the world has gone completely tits up at this point, I don't know what to say. The more information I find out about what's going on with a lot of this stuff, the more it sickens me. And the more I am just circling the wagons, the fences go up higher, things get done, things get put back, brass gets polished, if you know what I mean, and I get ready. Because the one quiet one we haven't heard from, and it's only 2:45 today, China hasn't really done much this week. Give them a couple hours. The week's still young. We still got Friday ahead of us. You know, all we need to know next is, hey, China's going into Taiwan, and all bets are off, you know. 2 strikes. Economy, Ukraine. Third one's Taiwan, guys. That happens. We all know Joe wants a war, okay? I mean, you know, it's funny that for years the Democrats used to call the Republicans warmongers, right? Now you have the Democrats and the rhinos that are begging for war, and the conservatives are like, no, that's not what we want to do, okay? You know, I really would love to ask all these snowflakes out there, when you voted for Joe, when you voted for Chuck Schumer, or Nancy Pelosi, or AOC, or, you know, whichever one of these clowns, did you want to go to war? Because that's what they want to do. They want to destroy your economy and take us to war. It's a great world we live in. Guys, hang tight, hug your loved ones, give the dog an extra kiss goodnight or something like that. Who the hell knows what's going to happen tomorrow? But this is starting to get scary. Pinball out.